think you should.
Alright, so I'm recording this in about 5 in the morning, and I've been up all night, so I'm very tired. And if you do hear me yawn at any occasional points in the video, or the audio just suddenly like cuts for some reason, that's A, mostly due to because I probably yawned, or B, because I'm trying to remember what happened in the most recent Boruto episode, because it's been a couple hours since I've actually seen the episode. I'm trying to remember. That's the main reason why. Usually, I don't really cut these videos up too much, just because I like to keep it, raw, and because it is my opinion of the episode, I kind of like to, give you my honest opinion on what I thought about this episode. And, essentially what this episode is the continuation of the Chunin exams from the Boruto movie, right? So the episode starts off with Boruto continuing his training with Sasuke, and he's still trying to practice the Shuriken Jutsu. And then Boruto points out the fact that the Shuriken Jutsu is actually Sarada's specialty, and Sasuke points out the fact that something like the Shadow Clone Jutsu then would probably more so be a specialty, and it is, because that's really the only other jutsu that he uses the most. So, and plus he probably inherited his high use of the Shadow Clone Jutsu really well from his dad. So there you go. So the episode starts off with that, and it was kind of funny because Sasuke, in the movie, the same thing happens in the movie and with the anime, but with the anime they actually did it a lot differently. So Sasuke does the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and obviously he's more profound using the jutsu better than Boruto. Boruto can only create a certain amount of clones, right? And Sasuke tells Boruto that Naruto can create over 1,000, which is true. He can't create over 1,000 because of his large amount of chakra, right? So I was thinking this to myself, actually, before I continue on. I was thinking this to myself watching the episode. I wondered why, Boruto can only create such a limited amount of shadow clones. Like, was that a way for the creator for the series? I forget who's writing the manga. I apologize for not remembering who's writing the manga. I know. Sorry, I got distracted by something. I know it's not Kishimoto. Kishimoto isn't writing the current manga. At least I don't think he is. Someone else is writing it, right? But someone is also, writing the story for the anime. But even then, during the movie, I always thought it was weird that he can only create a certain amount of shadow clones. But his name's Boruto Uzumaki, and he's the son of Naruto, who had an insane amount of chakra because his mom was Kushina, and Kushina originated from the Uzumaki clan, who is infamously known for having such a large amount of pool of chakra. Like, chakra is such a big important thing in the series, and Naruto had a fucking ridiculous amount, more than Kakashi, as he stated in the series. So the fact that Boruto doesn't really, create that much shadow clones just kind of surprises me, considering in the first episode of Naruto, part 1, Naruto creates easily probably 100 or so. Lowball 50. Like, he creates so many clones the first try of him of us seeing it on the first episode. So I just don't really get it, I don't really get why he can only create such a certain amount of shadow clones, but that's neither here or there. But I like what they did with the episode, and when Boruto uses the clones, and they kind of have a monologue with each other, because I guess Boruto cannot create, up to 5, because one including him. And, one of the clones is saying, "You're being too arrogant. All clones are equal," says another one. I don't know. I thought the whole monologue with the clones talking to each other was actually pretty funny. So after the intro, the episode continues on, and we actually get more confrontation of what happened to Gaara as he was on his way to, the Hidden Leaf, because Gaara hadn't shown up yet, and they were wondering where they were, and he was late. And Gaara finally shows up in this episode, and the Mizukage, Chojuro, I think that's what his name is. Don't quote me on that. Chojuro and the Mizukage and Sasuke are waiting for Gaara, and then Gaara finally shows up, right? And when he shows up, he says that he was attacked. He says he was attacked by one of the members of the Otsutsuki, and it's not Momoshiki or Kinshiki. It's actually the new guy that appears in the series, because he wasn't in the movie. He wasn't in the movie so far. I've only seen him in the manga, and I don't know. I don't even know if he exists in the manga. If he does, it makes sense. But if he's only an anime only character, then I'm just like, why? He probably did show up in the manga, so forgive me for being arrogant. Not arrogant, ignorant. Early in the morning, I've been up all night. I'm sorry. My mind's all over the place. Anyways, so Gaara explains that he was on the train and he was attacked by one of the Otsutsuki members, and there was supposed to be a barrier, but of course, because he's Otsutsuki, he was able to get past it. And Gaara explains this happened. Sasuke explains to Gaara and the Mizukage, stuff about the scroll that was in the palace, that was in Kaguya's palace, and that it's being deciphered by the Cipher Core, right? And it's not finished yet, right? So, and then also, if you saw my video, like a few weeks ago, I put in my title, "Is Gaara Jinchuriki again?" And sorry, something was on my mouth. I put that in the title because whenever Jinchuriki talks to the tailed beast, whenever they're sealed within him, they go into like a cognitive kind of like world inside of their head or inside their body, wherever they're sealed, and then they talk to each other, kind of like how Killer Bee first did when he was talking to Yuki the Eight Tails, and then what Naruto would do in part 1 whenever he would start, getting the chakra from the Nine Tails, right? So that happened with Gaara, but Gaara explains in the episode that, the guy who attacked him, the Otsutsuki member, he already knew that he wasn't Jinchuriki anymore, right? So now that leads me to believe that Gaara isn't Jinchuriki and Shukaku isn't sealed within him. And, I thought about that, right? I thought about that, it doesn't make sense because in the movie, it clearly wasn't shown that Shukaku was sealed within him, and he wasn't attacked like the others, he was there. But of course the anime explains more of that. If you hear background noise, I'm sorry, people are going to work, so, he wasn't attacked like the others, right? He kind of was just like, whatever. And, you could explain that, Shukaku wasn't sealed within Gaara once again, like before in part 1 and early Shippuden, so, he didn't need to get attacked. And then, they in the anime series, they show that Gaara and Shukaku can still talk to each other, but now, Shukaku isn't able to, or, Shukaku can still talk to him, but he's not sealed within Gaara. But that didn't make any sense to me because I don't know. It just didn't really make too much sense to me, and it still doesn't really it still doesn't make too much sense to me even now. I'm stuttering on my words. I'm fucking sorry. So after all that happens, we go back to the actual tuning exams with the whole capture the flag fucking bullshit, which was never really my favorite thing in the world, because I think it's just kind of like it's kind of just like but there was actually like a good moment in this episode during the tuning exams with the whole capture the flag stuff, which Shinki, which is Gaara's adopted son, he was fucking ruthless in this episode. Go watch it. It was that's probably the best part of the episode, besides the final part of the episode, the final, the ending of the episode, which I really enjoyed it. I thought it was neat because narratively it was really good. So of course, Shikadai's team wins, Shinki's team wins. Shinki and Metal Lee actually fought each other, and they lost. They actually lost, but we already knew that because of the movie and stuff. And then Boruto's team, he's there with his shadow clones, and he meets the triplets who are from the Mist Village, and they could do shadow clone jutsu on top of them, being triplets. So all three of them are there And it's not like the other groups where they would leave like two people behind and one person would go and try to get the flag. What they did is they essentially create an illusion where there was a whole bunch of other of the same flag, and you couldn't tell which one was real. But of course, because they're up against Boruto's team and there's Sarada, she can just use a Sharingan. And spoiler, she gets the flag, so it's not really that big of a deal. But she gets the flag, and Boruto's team, exceeds, right? So Boruto's getting destroyed. The triplets are overwhelming him, and they're about to actually capture the flag. They're about to grab it. But then they finally, do the whole thing where Boruto then finally has to resort to using the ninja tool. And he uses a ninja tool, and he uses a new jutsu that I don't think has been seen in the series yet. It's like water style bullet orca. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it basically just creates a whole large body of water. And then Boruto is up in the sky, and he uses a lightning jutsu and electrocutes all of them. Mitsuki gets back, and he's actually surprisingly impressed with how Boruto was able to handle all three of them by himself. And then I'm so fucking mad. There was a reason why I always thought the whole ninja tool thing with the Boruto was like really stupid, and why my other friend who watches the series thought it was stupid. And it's shit like this where Tenten is watching, this part of the Chunin exams through monitors, right? And she sees him use the jutsu, the water style jutsu, and she points out the fact that she didn't see him weave any hand signs, right? And one of the guys in the room is actually working for the scientist guy who gave him the ninja tool. I have to learn his fucking name eventually. I'm about to go fucking learn what his name is after this video. But he's actually there, and he's listening into Tenten. And Tenten points out the fact that he didn't weave hand signs, right? So she's standing there, and she's like, wow, that is impressive. The fact that he's able to weave hand signs faster than the human eye can see. He is the Hokage's son. I'm just like, are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid, Sensen? This is why Neji should have lived. No, I'm kidding. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So, we have this stupid fucking scene with Sarada and Boruto, where she notices that Boruto's eyes, his blue eyes, are brighter, or lighter, I guess you can say, than the Hokage's, which is Naruto. And, it's supposed to be like more of a setup, an extended setup for, the whole Sarada and Boruto are going to end up together. And, there are clear signs of it, but I almost feel like it's not going to happen for some reason. If it happens, then fine, whatever. I don't really fucking care. But if it doesn't, then it's like, cool. Again, I don't really fucking care. So, Naruto is in his office, right? He's in the Hokage's office. He's pacing back and forth, and he says he can't stand the suspense. Shikamaru opens the door, and he says that his son's team passed, which is Shikadai, and that Boruto's team also passed as well, and they're going to the third and final round of the Chunin exams, which is a one-on-one tournament, which we've seen in part 1, and from various other stuff. So yes, so Naruto is there. He finds out the news. Boruto goes home, and I like what they did with the whole ninja tool stuff. Like, they show that he feels bad for using it. He feels bad because he knows that he didn't have to resort to it if he had just done better. But, he had to resort to it anyways because he wants to prove to his dad that, he's good at being a ninja too or some shit, right? And at the final part of the episode, which is the very end, Boruto is home. He goes up to his room, and then Naruto shows up, right? And before that, they actually have a little scene with Naruto and Sasuke, where the Cipher Core is deciphering the scroll from Kaguya's scroll, right, from her dimension place, right? And Naruto explains to Sasuke that Sarada passed, and she's going in the third round. and they do this whole monologue thing. I would explain it, but it's probably better if you just watch the episode anyways. So we go back to Boruto, and he's in his room, and he's looking at his ninja tool, and he almost seems defeated, right? He almost seems defeated, and he's mad at himself because he realized that he had to resort to using the ninja tool, and that it really is amazing. But he feels bad, and he's like mad at himself because he could have done better, and he knows he could have done better, right? And for all the flack that I give Boruto to his character sometimes, and to all the flack that I gave to the whole ninja tool idea, I understand why they did it on a narrative perspective. And narratively, this last scene with Boruto and Naruto was really good. So Boruto is in his room, and then Naruto walks in, right? And he's looking at a picture of him and Boruto when he was younger, when it was a better time, and Boruto didn't hate his fucking dad. And then of course Boruto is surprised that his dad is here, and it's the real Naruto. It's the real Naruto, and the last bit of the episode, the final bit of the episode, proves that it's not a shadow clone and it's actually him. So he's there, he's looking at the picture, and it's all quiet. The thing about the scene that they did right was it's all quiet. It's all silent, and there's long moments of silence. And that's because, in a narrative perspective, Boruto is trying to hide the fact that he used the ninja tool because he's scared that, Naruto found out and he's going to confront him about it. But Naruto has no knowledge of it, and no one knows that he's using the ninja tool whatsoever, other than, a few people that are behind the scenes working with that one scientist dude, right? So Naruto is standing there, and, he's proud of his son. He's proud of his son for getting this far into the Chunin exams, but he doesn't really know how to explain it, and he can't really get it out, right? Meanwhile, Boruto feels guilty. He feels guilty because he had to use the ninja tool, right? So Naruto finally gets out that he did great. He did great, and of course Boruto is very surprised. He's very surprised, and of course he's very surprised, and he's like, "Did you come here just to say that?" And then Naruto explains that, yeah, it's important. It's very important. It's something that's really, really important. And then of course he does like the whole like fist gesture, like fist bump gesture that he did originally with Killer Bee, that he's kind of like passing on now. And of course Boruto's still kind of guilty, doesn't return it back because I guess he feels like he didn't earn it. But Naruto then goes ahead and bumps his chest a little bit and then leaves, right? And of course Boruto's still sitting there in his room, is still surprised that his dad came here just to tell him that and whatever, right? But ultimately he feels happy. He feels like he accomplished something. He's happy that his dad went out of his way to physically in person explain this to him. And then after we get that whole scene with Boruto, we get back to Naruto, and he's back in the Hokage's office, and he feels like he just got a whole fucking weight off his back, right? And funny part is that he knocks over a whole bunch of stack of papers, and he's freaking out about it. But ultimately, he doesn't really care about that because, he finally, expressed that, he is interested in his son and what he's doing, and that he is proud of him. He is proud of his son. And narratively, this whole scene, with Naruto and Boruto was really good. On a narrative perspective, it was really great, and I actually really enjoyed it. So that's pretty much the entirety of the rest of the episode. We get the rest of the credits, of course. And then the next week, we're going to be seeing a lot of the third round of the Chunin exams, which is the final part of the Chunin exams. We're probably going to see Shigadai and Boruto fight. We're going to see Chocho fighting whoever she's going to fight. And I'm excited to see what's to happen next week, and I hope you are too. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, I'm gonna try to get this out as quickly as possible, early morning. Um, I don't know what time I'll probably get it out, but it'll be super early morning. So more of an early upload than normal, but it's better than uploading it super late at night because technically I'm uploading it early in the morning. So anyways, that's it for the rest of the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, and if you are new, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. Go check out my last video because I debunk something that Scream Rant made on their channel in terms of plot holes in Dragon Ball, and I haven't made anything Dragon Ball related since Dragon Ball Super ended, so be sure to go check that out. Anyways, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day. I'm out. Peace.